Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Okay. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you, Priyani. Okay. Sometimes, actually, you see that spiritual master, some photos, it's interesting, but some photos of Srila Prabhupada, I have also photos of my Gurudev, who have lots of garlands on them. And just yesterday I was hearing my senior god brother, who is soon gonna get a sannyas and everything. And he was like, making this emphasis, like it was a katha about in Vrindavan, and it was like how Krishna always wants to make Radharani happy, and how Radharani is always behaving in such a way to make Krishna happy, and that that also like Jiva also has this potency of liking, serving someone to make someone happy, and there is this happiness. And so he said that to actually receive, because we have this service of giving gifts, receiving gifts, so receive a gift, you also have to, it's an art, because sometimes you don't need it, what is given to you, but if you display joy, the person who gives might be happy. So we might think about this person, happiness who gives, Srila Prabhupada was capable of receiving a lot of garlands. Not only it didn't affect his false ego, like to become proud or attached to any position or fame or followers, but also it's just heavy, you know. This thing is just heavy. If you have, like, and he was not that, big in size, you know. And
It's okay.
yeah, and so yes, it's like having 10 of those. It's not that easy. So thank you very much. That's the realization of today.
You have the right to put it aside.
Thank you.
I
know it's
heavy.
But it is definitely a big mercy that we have, and that ladies who are actually taking time to make them on weekend and make for a few days in front, and and they're very enthusiastic to give really big roses, So. This was of Radharani?
Yes. No.
This was Krishna. No, yeah, Prabhupada before Krishna. Usually Prabhupada wears the one after.
Oh, okay. I saw that one.
So let's see. So today we are okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Cheva Narottamam.
Naram Cheva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Tato Daya Udirayet.
Tato Jaya Mudiraye.
Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu.
Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Okay, so yes, we are reading from Canto 9, Chapter 3. That's another adventure. The marriage of Sukanya and Chaivana Muni. And in Shloka, I have few, in the Shloka, meaning in a group of Shlokas, I have few.
17 to 20.
17 to 20, thank you. Okay. Yeah, because there is no purpose. Usually we read till there is a purpose, till there is something to relate to. So I will just be reading, and the 20th, we can together read. Do I read just translation or Sanskrit as well?
As you wish.
Darshaitva patim tasyai pativratena toshitau rishim amantriya yayatur vimanenam trivishtapam. Translation: The Ashwini Kumaras were very pleased to see Sukanya's chastity and faithfulness. Thus they showed her Chavana Muni, her husband, and after taking permission from him, they returned to the heavenly planets in their plane. The 18th verse, translation. Thereafter, King Shariati, desiring to perform a sacrifice, went to the residence of Chavana Muni. There he saw by the side of his daughter a very beautiful young man, as bright as the sun. 19. After receiving obeisances from his daughter, the king, instead of offering blessings to her, appeared very displeased and spoke as follows. And so it's voila. Today 20th verse. Chikirsitam tekimidam. Oh, what is the rhythmic?
Chikirsitam tekimidam patis.
Chikirsitam tekividam patistvaya pralambito lokanam.
It is 4 lines, so generally it should be like this.
Chikirsitam tekimidam patis vaya. Yadvanjaragrastam asatya samatam vihaya jaram bhajase mudgam.
Perfect. Okay. Can we do word by word? Because it is like,
Okay.
unless someone else wants to repeat. You want to try, Devani?
Chikirsitam tekividam patistvaya pralambito lokanamaskito muni. Yatvam jaragrastam asatya asatvatam vihaya jaram bhajase amum.
Okay, great. So, Chikirsitam,
Chikirsitam
which you desire to do. Te,
te
of you.
of you.
Kim,
Kim
oh sorry, Kimidam.
Kimidam.
What is this?
What is this?
Patihi,
Pati
your husband. Tvaya,
tvaya
by you.
by you.
Pralambitaha,
Pralambita
has been cheated. Lokanamaskrita,
lokanamaskita.
who is honored by all people.
Honored by all people.
Muni,
Muni.
a great sage.
Great sage.
Yat, because.
Because
Tvam, you. Jara Grastam,
Jarastam,
very old and invalid.
very old and
Asati,
Asati,
O unchaste daughter.
Chaste daughter.
Asamatam,
Asamatam,
not very attractive.
not very attractive.
Vihaya, given up.
Given up.
Jaram,
Jaram,
Paramur,
Paramur.
Bhajase,
Rajase,
you have accepted.
you have accepted.
Amun, this man.
This man,
Advagam,
Advagam,
comparable to a street beggar.
comparable to a street beggar.
Translation. Oh unchaste girl, what is this that you have desired to do? You have cheated the most respectable husband who is honored by everyone. For I see that because he was old, diseased, and therefore unattractive, you have left his company to accept as your husband this young man who appears to be a beggar from the street. Nice. Okay. Purport of His Divine Grace, AC, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Shri Shri Nitai Sachistute Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Parikita Jai. And Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Supada Jai. This is a purport. This shows the values of Vedic culture. According to the circumstances, Sukanya had been given a husband who was too old to be compatible with her. Because Chaivana Muni was diseased and very old, he was certainly unfit for the beautiful daughter of King Sharyanti. Nonetheless, her father expected her to be faithful to her husband. When he suddenly saw that his daughter had accepted someone else, even though the man was young and handsome, he immediately chastised her as asati, unchaste, because he assumed that she had accepted another man in the presence of her husband. According to Vedic culture, even if a young woman is given an old husband, she must respectfully serve him. This is chastity. It is not that because she dislikes her husband, she may give him up and accept another. This is against Vedic culture. According to Vedic culture, a woman must accept the husband given to her by her parents and remain chaste and faithful to him. Therefore, King Shariati was surprised to see a young man by the side of Sukanya. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yana Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Vina Bandhu, Jagatpate, Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namostute, Tapta Kanchana, Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari Mancha Kalpataruvyascha, Kripa Sindhu Vevacha, Patitanam Pavebhyo, Vaishnavibhyo Namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Mutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari. Okay, so once again, translation. Oh, unchaste girl, what is this that you have desired to do? You have cheated the most respectable husband, who is honored by everyone. For I see that because he was old, diseased, and therefore unattractive, you have left his company to accept as your husband this young man who appears to be a beggar from the street. So, yes, this is a nice, chapter. Srila Prabhupada makes it all relevant for us by just explaining why it is natural for the father to react like that, because for people like conditioned who are like us, it is actually would be natural to do what the father describes, and they will, like how I remember Prana was reading this, his personal reading, and so I was like listening and I was reflecting back then. Indeed, they would just create even some Hollywood movie, like, or Bollywood movie, like how it is unfair that the girl, was forced into the marriage with the old man, and then there is a real love of her whom she really, want to be, and how they run away, and it would be like, praised. It would be even like, not only accepted, it will not be at all abominable. It will be totally a good thing, like in the modern days. That's how they see, due to the fact that there is a strong presence of lower gunas, and therefore no clue about goal of life, no clue about that actually there is duties to be done in this life, and there is shreyas and prayers, and so something like a long term, you can sacrifice some short term happiness only if you have quite good understanding of a long term one. Otherwise, it does look like very unhuman and very forcing and very, like against human rights even, like sometimes they would reproach this part of the world, the Western part, of course, who is a little bit more advanced civilization and in more confusion. but they think of themselves advanced. So they reproach the Eastern part, whom they think that this is like a violation of human rights, and we have to, of course, be happy, and human is put on the pedestal as the topmost creature existent, because of course there is no God or demigods, or there is no structure of the universe. So everything is like, let's we have to put someone anyway, like on the pedestal. So it will be us then. It will be the human being, the topmost of nature, what is created. And they forget that a human being is not the king of nature. It is a part of nature, of something bigger. He is nothing but just another brick in a bigger thing, in a structure that is have a great intelligence, way beyond that human can conceive even. But for them, it's really emphasized that we have, as we are the topmost, we have to receive everything we need for happiness. And if somewhere in the country they marry a 6-year-old girl with I don't know, 40 years old person, it's absurd. It's like it's perverted. It's not good. Of course, they do have they have a ground. Like they say, there is no smoke without fire. Yeah, because there are cases when it's abusive. There are cases when, so we cannot say that just East is right, West is wrong. Obviously, by now everything is mixed. Everything is so mixed, and people lost the Sanatana Dharma, like this goal, and therefore people who are supposed to give protection, like a husband would do, they can sometimes exploit the people who are under, and so then these people who are being exploited, they tolerate for some time, but senses are strong, they push. There is no goal of life. We do not know for what should I tolerate this pain, and no question about past karma as well. So they start to revolve and then do the opposite, feminist more way of no, we don't want to be exploited, and so then it does not solve the problem, but it solves it for maybe short while, for those who address to this short-term solution without understanding the complexity of the thing. So yes, here we see that Srila Prabhupada explains that Vedic culture is based very firmly on varnashram, on duties, also on understanding the goal of life. And it can happen so by destiny that that you are given an old husband, like we see here. Because here she was given as an excuse, like she poked something eyes, and it was deja. It was it is not a super nice first encounter of husband and wife. I do not know, but imagine how Muni is stable. Like a person, the wife, future wife, is poked the eyes, and he's like accepting her as a gift, but and doesn't have heavy heart against it, like, but they just continue keep normal like life, like grihastha life, considering that he's a Muni. So like she will have to serve not like maybe in a palace too much, like did with Kashyapa Muni. Who was the Kashyapa Muni was served by his Devahuti. Kardama Muni, thank you. Kardama Muni was also served by a princess, which means that it's a big austerity. You used to grow up in palace, and then here it's also a daughter of the king. It means that they are grown up in a very opulent upbringing, even though there are rules, and it's not like I do what I want in terms of spoiled youth, golden youth. It's still a little bit of austerity to come to these other conditions of life, plus to receive a husband who is old, diseased, invalid, and not very pleasant for the senses. So in this point of life, one would think that in contemporary and including to me, I would be very upset. Like to no, because it's like senses would be upset, and so I identify still with the senses. But it's true that like it's an approach, it's a test, it's but she proved to be very chaste actually wife, and Ashwini Kumaras were pleased with her that that she when she saw this bright man as a son, you know, she was not recognizing her husband, therefore she was first addressing the elder ones, you know, because normally she would address for help her husband, you know, who is the elder one, but here there were Munis from higher planets, so some authority. Her father was not there, so she addressed an authority still, you know, to and for that they were pleased, you know, because they said yes, yes, indeed, it's your husband, you know. But because the illusionary energy can do things very, you know, something looking very attractive that you cannot believe your eyes, your mind will want immediately, yes, it must be my husband. Of course, who else would it be? He's so nice and attractive. Yeah, but no, she first she controlled being a Vraj Kumari, she controlled her senses, you know, and the Kshatriya family also invites ladies to control the senses and to accept her destiny. And so, yes, she accepted in first case when she was given as a gift, as a pardon to her husband, and she accepted him also after asking when he was nice. That means that she really was chaste, you know, she really controlled the senses. And of course, here a father also is displeased. Another test, you know. Okay, you received a nice husband, you did how you should have done, you did everything well, but now your father misunderstood, you know. So it's another test because it's very difficult for false ego to have done good thing, you know, and then someone whom is dear to you, your father, you know, figure, he is saying you are fallen, you are unjust. What did you do? He assumes the worst, you know, about you when you did the best. So it's another difficulty. We will see how she will reply. But if she was a normal human being, like in Kali Yuga, she would be already in huge anger and even, you know, and probably not talking to her father till the end of the life because he dared to assume the worst about her, and self-image would suffer, you know. So, but the father, yes, he assumed because he did not know that there was this Soma, that there is this Ashwini Kumaras. He just, you know, and the father maybe thought that the nature of ladies, it's difficult for them maybe to control senses. It's more difficult, so maybe he thought my daughter is just went the same direction and have paramour now, you know. And he called him as a street beggar. And before it was described that he was beautiful young man, as bright as the sun. But because father got angry, you know, when you are angry, you are not capable to admire the good qualities. If you are unhappy with situation, you will say maybe mean things, you know, like he compared him with a street beggar just because of this anger. But because she was already blessed by Ashwini Kumaras, by, you know, by her chastity, it will be all right. We will see after. But yeah, it's not easy. Generally, we see that Hare Krishna Prabhuji. We see that for the Vedic culture, yeah. I lost what I would say. Yes, there are a lot of situations considered with this chastity of ladies in Vedic culture. A lot of instances which shaped their destinies. Like we can remember all together. Like once you touch, for example, some lady or someone is destined to you, no one else want to marry after this person. We can remember with Bhishma, yeah, Ambika, who was just unfortunate situation, you know. So a lot of things like this can happen, you know, not the best. Also, we know that some ladies, they pray to the goddess Katayani, you know. they pray not to receive an old husband. They also would like to not like to be the second or third wife. Also, sometimes they can pray for that because they know that all of that exists, and it's better to give to do yagya in order to try to receive the material. It's still material guna, but still they knew the system, how it works. They were not like no, I don't do anything, but when I receive bad result, you know, I just act to even worsen my situation, because not to accept the destiny in her case, or to change or to take a lover, or to change a husband, would be worsening her situation, because the life is not ending with this lifetime. So next lifetime she will have to deal with this somehow in a different form by the laws of karma. So they knew it. So it's better if we accept, even if it's unfair or difficult like this, by living through pain, we will burn our karma at least, and that suffering will finish and will not create new. But if we react like you know, reactiveness, like to try to solve and improve the situation by material means, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that it only worsens your situation, because you solve one problem, but there are a lot of side effects, and the overall situation is only worse. So yes, that's a touchy subject, but and yes, and also ninth canto is just before 10th canto, and each canto is about something. Sarva, Visarga,
Sarga,
Poshana, it's
No,
after, no?
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Sarga.
Manvan, no. It's after. Maybe Poshana, no? Mercy. Sthan.
Yes, Sarga Stanam, Pushanam, Utaya, Manvantare, Ishamikata, Muktir, Nirudo, Ashraya.
Ashraya. So now it's already approaching to Ashraya, to 10th canto, and Nirodaya. It's this direction. Like if we speak about Mukti before, there was also some Mukti. But this one is about complete liberation from even subtle attachments, subtle things that will help us after ninth. Normally by now we're supposed to be we were purified even subtly, and then we are able to perceive Ashraya, 10th canto, and do not identify anymore the Lord with the common human being who is dancing, I don't know, stealing, because before we live through each this, because this 10th topic, like Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj explained, Ashraya, it's the topic that is inconceivable, and it's kind of locked surrendered by the lotus like petals of another 9 topics before. And each topic, it's like helps us to understand unknown through something more known. You know, this methodology is used in Srimad Bhagavatam, from what I heard. You know, it's like, for example, he said the same methodology is used in Vedanta Sutra, he said, and even in modern science, when you try to learn about something unknown through something known. Like, for example, the time we cannot perceive, but there is watch, kind of, it just shows like symbolically, but it indicates, even though the energy of time, just like this, we cannot perceive it, you know, it's unknown, but we try to use something known. It was his example. And yeah, so this ninth canto is already after all the first cantos, which in each canto we should realize Ashraya, the 10th topic. We should realize in the first canto, in the second, in the third, in a certain way, depending on the canto. And so now it's already really full purification, readiness for the Krishna, for Ashraya, for the 10th final topic. Now, how to exactly in detail how to describe it, I do not know yet, because we just started the school of Bhagavatam. But if I do learn, I will be sharing whatever I am learning, because it's the only way I don't forget it. And and yeah. So anyone wants to contribute to this nice topic correction? Oh, nice! We have both simultaneous hands. You would.
I have a question.
Okay, please.
Like you mentioned that if some Mataji has a husband with some challenge or difficulty, and she gave up, and in the next life she has to bear the karma with some additional karma also. So, like, it's the other way around also. That it's your karma that you have to get married. It's in the astrological chart also that a man will also get married. So those who choose the path of brahmacharya and do not wish to marry or do not, so what will happen to their karma, or how the things will go?
Okay, Rasparana Prabhu, thank you for your interesting practical question. I do not know, like, as I'm not in this ashram of brahmacharya, but I have heard.
I missed that.
I'm not in the ashram of brahmacharya, so I'm not very, expert in that. But I did hear from our ISKCON spiritual masters. For example, if you meant to have with someone difficult marriage, for example, it was, I think, Prabhu, who just recently went to Krishna, Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He was once like, but Maharaj will speak to disciple according he sees whether disciple can accept or cannot, So he was, and sometimes Maharaj has to negotiate with our mind. So he was asked by some brahmachari, like about this marriage, sometimes spiritual master would recommend someone to marry, and sometimes he would say, try to not, And in this case, he said to this disciple, try not to, He said, because look, you are miserable. In your, astrology, it predicts to be problematic, Better don't make someone else miserable, he says. Try to just suffer a little bit by yourself, It will be a little bit still, comments, misery will come, But at least don't expand your misery to the wife, Don't get married, he said, to this concrete brahmachari, I do not know this person now. I just heard that our spiritual master can, depending whether he sees a person can or approximately cannot accept this, so there is a possibility to suffer what you were supposed to be suffering in a couple, let's say, to the small extent. It still, Krishna says that he diminishes, right? Only little he remains, just in order to have a therapeutic effect, Otherwise, if the things what happened to us were meant to destroy us, why Krishna would do this, So he keeps a little bit of difficulty in order to learn, for the learning experience. Other than that, he already took out a lot of your troubles before. So you can stay and suffer by yourself this what it's meant to be in the marriage, from what I heard. But maybe you heard something else, I don't know. Or you didn't hear.
No, I didn't heard anything. It just came to my mind that what will happen to our karma or our astrological destiny.
It will change. Krishna can change your astrological destiny,
You have to clap.
But it also depends on how you are involved in spiritual practice, Not that you are, just afraid and escaping the difficulty. You hope somehow to wait till you die and to remember Krishna's name. This is not living, we should try to, to live fully, in a sense that to practice and to try to help at least someone else, And that a lot of cases, to finish, devotees who have not married, they did have children in a bigger sense, not biological, but like my spiritual master was in his like chart was that he has lots of children. He had only one biological, but he is a spiritual father for a lot of disciples. Yes, sorry.
Satisfied.
No, it was just like when we barat, like when we just have it's not like super deep.
Yeah, I presume when Charamuni, someone poke his eye, I guess he could not see the beautiful woman. But I think, okay, maybe according to the Vedic prescription, when you are alone with a woman, then she's supposed to become your wife, So maybe he thought, okay, destiny arranged that we are united together. Even she pokes my eyes, so let me accept her. Because it says that the king accepted that, the king understood that the Muni wanted the daughter.
Yeah, he understood.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
this
it's
time is
mentioned.
okay.
So he wanted the daughter.
Oh, okay.
Because she asked actually.
Yeah.
She asked her.
Okay.
So that was. But now, even with that, I'm still wondering. You, as a woman, as a wife, how can you make this acceptable for the common modern woman? Because if they read that, then they will say, "Wow, this is mistreatment, slavery. This is abuse." I guess Prabhupada would say, "Well, this is because you don't have the conception. You are the soul, and you identify with the body. And for as long as you consider yourself a woman, you think you will be mistreated in that way. Still, we should find more ways to present this to the public nicely. If you have any idea, how do you feel when you read that? Do you feel it's breaking your freedom? It's abusive, patriarchal, things like that?
Be honest.
You want to answer the question already?
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel being in a woman's body now?
Actually, I gave the class on this topic before also. I covered this point.
Yeah, to ladies.
2 points of my class. Second part was why did her father choose her to marry such an old guy who was of the age of her grandfather? Because at that time,
See, it's not easy.
At that time, they value spiritual growth. His father didn't see that he's rich or not. Considering it in today's time, now people value money, and we can see so many old men married to young girls.
That's true.
And young girls are dying. Okay, I will marry this guy. He's such a famous guy. I will marry. And because they value money, so they are ready to accept 60-year older guy. She is 18 and he's 84, and they are ready to marry.
Yeah.
And she could not have any child. But
They are just waiting for him to die so that he will get the
Well, that's an extraordinary nice point. I just will include it in the. Thank you very much. It's good that you indeed was very persistent with the and because it gives a very good point that it depends what is valued in our society. But now, when our society valued more indeed sense gratification, as you say, rightfully money. Sometimes, though, ladies marry elder one not because necessarily of money, but because of fame. It's also very, like it's a old rock star. I don't know, like, and maybe already not that much money, but still, fame is there, So. But as for making it like palatable, I because I have big fortune of witnessing my much senior, she's around like 60 something years, a god sister who is really very strong. Malika Mala, she is a very strong lady body, but gives shiksha even to men, doesn't because she's already really very spiritually strong. And I guess that her way of presenting things, is very attractive. She usually preaches the values. She is from Kazakhstan. There is still a little bit of Central Asia. There is still a little bit of values, but Kali Yuga went everywhere. Kazakhstan, including, people are totally changed. And so, though of course we cannot accept that everyone will be. It's not a massive culture. It cannot be straight away, and unless we have, like Srila Prabhupada said, 10 million gurus we need, he said, in order for the culture to be again Vedic in a way. So at the moment, everyone can just do their own contribution and concentrate on Srila Prabhupada, on his mission, on Lord Chaitanya. But she is really strong. She gives it through her realized wisdom. She makes, because she's realized, she makes this more attractive, like these spiritual values. She says that we don't need to put a plastic surgery, and it's very difficult to go against this flow, because everyone wants to put big lips, I don't know, to make reeds and things like this, because they concentrated on body a lot. And she is saying the beauty is not in that. And she is a really strong preacher and gives a lot of help to a lot of ordinary people. Not all of them come after to make necessarily Hare Krishna. Now it's just common values for public, But those who follow, eventually, because it's a process, it's a 9th canto, right? So of course I will not make people who just came to read that yet, because it takes time to to change this value system. It's not over one night. But now when I read it, I have no problem with feeling. Also, I don't have problem because it's not my case. but also, sometimes when you read and you think because you identify a little bit, it's a little bit challenging. But in this concrete case, I feel admiration to those, to Kanya, and to her mostly, because when you meditate on some character, if you do it with respect, you might also receive features of this person to whom you meditate. You can pray for benedictions of great souls who are described here, because I hope by now a little bit more in my life, thanks to Guru Maharaj, shifted towards spiritual values, I hope, so it doesn't create this type of feministic thing that it's mistreated or just unhuman. However, I understand that there are difficulties, and Queen Kunti had a lot of difficulties and so on. But if Krishna is then your husband, I mean, if this lady will receive later on in her this jiva Krishna, it would be worth it, no? Because it was temporary. Stress and praise is temporary. But of course, everyone will reach their limits of surrender in this life. We will all face something that will be not easy to swallow and digest. No, it's just a matter of how, far. But Maya will poke till there is nothing to. She will hook till there is nothing to hook. And the only shelter is to keep chanting, knowing that we can be a problem. Even in devotees circles, there are cases when there is 3rd marriage, 4th marriage, it exists. But there are people who, like Bhaktivedanta Goswami says, they didn't understand from the first 3 that it will happen the same thing, even if they are already practicing. But it takes some for someone maybe a little bit longer, and be really, really absorbing in Srimad Bhagavatam in order to switch the values, because Srimad Bhagavatam is very powerful to switch the values. Thank you, Revati Nandana, for this question. It's very nice question, and thank you, Rasparana Prabhu, for sharing what you gave as a. Did you give to Mataji's this class?
I give class.
Yeah. And so, did you see how public reacted? Did they agree that it's better to change the values from Lakshmi to?
We are the public.
It was devotees. Sorry. Okay.
I gave class here, so I haven't been accepted.
We are accepted before you were speaking.
I was not here when you gave the class.
But why we are going through it again then? You were already in front?
Sorry?
Why we are going again to the same sequence, or it was?
No. Like, I raised this question from myself.
And
And, you know, when we read it, so it strikes us, you know, why he chose to marry her young daughter to such an old person. It doesn't go well as per today's standards.
And one thing nowadays we saw in Bangladesh also, most of the young girls, when they come contact in Krishna consciousness, so after a few months or year, they think that we won't get married.
they don't want.
Yeah, they don't want. And like this, they pass 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and later they feel, oh no, I need someone, and then they start disturbing the brahmacharis, and I saw many cases in Bangladesh, and also nowadays here also I see in many cases that they're saying, at least by orally, they have no intention to get married. Now, what will be? We have to see what will be happening in future. So, what is the Vedic conjunction in this particular aspect?
How should ladies do?
Yes.
Well, what you are describing now is more of already historical facts, you know, and of course it would be better if but also what you're describing is a part of spiritual stages, you know. First, when you are encounter Hare Krishna in general, you have still all your, you know, misconceptions and arhas and everything, and it brings you joy, and you think you associate spiritual life with your pleasure a lot, you know, and it takes time before, as you say, 5-6 years, to understand, to be more, first of all, to take your real position. That's another thing. In the beginning, it's a honeymoon, like you see, because Krishna seems in the beginning to be already near, like you can almost put your hand and already touch his feet or something, you know. Or in the beginning, you might think you will straight away touch an arm. You skip on the lotus feet area, you know. You think it's already, we are already together, you know, like, and we have also cases here, like when ladies would be like, you know, putting this, oh, I'm having a date, it's japa, it's a date with Krishna, but literally taking it, how to say, taking it, it's a bit simplification, it's called, you know, a type of sahaji, which sahaji means simplification. When you take something that's a little bit more complex and apply it on external, you know, level, how you understand it. So yeah, what you are saying is that, I mean, some people will have, unfortunately, to pass through this, and yes, you are right, the result will be that they might regret a little bit after, but if they're sincere enough, they will find someone more appropriate, not brahmachari, or they will be okay to pay for the, how to say, for the mistake by just continue, you know. It will be a little bit uncomfortable, but the main thing is that it's not like if you have a perfect husband, deja, already it's not possible in Kali Yuga to have a good grihasthashram, very good. I mean, there is always something, but only if anyway, even being grihastha ashram or another ashram, if the main thing is not Krishna, it is complicated ashram, you know. And so some people might pass by kind of this lifetime without a successful marriage. So it's okay, it's a background. Because how many lifetimes we already had? If we now strive for something perfect according to conjunctions, yeah, we should strive to satisfy the Lord. Varnashrama should be established, but the faith should never be invested in Varnashrama. Faith should be invested only in Achyuta, in the Lord. Otherwise, we're very much risking to be disappointed, because nothing here can be perfect, and it's difficult in Kali Yuga. More smoke than a fire in any activity, unless it's Hare Krishna mantra.
I think the problem is that now the girls need to study.
Yes, thank you.
Before they
Revati.
were
Yeah,
in the house,
yeah,
the mother would arrange for her marriage.
yeah,
Now the parents don't arrange anything,
yeah, don't rush.
and they send their daughter to study, and then she has to find by herself a job,
Mm-hmm.
a house, husband.
Yeah,
And this was never happening before. Everything was meant to be done by her seniors or authority.
mm-hmm.
So for modern women, even Indian modern women, they have difficulties to figure out, because nothing is done for them. I have to find by myself. I'm not supposed to study, but I'm studying. I'm not supposed to work. I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
The society has become like this. Even if you don't work, how do you live? You know, it has, like, the society is now organized in such a way you are obliged to do things you were not supposed to. And like we have heard many times, now qualities are all mixed up. It's not like you are a man, you stay intelligent, and you are a woman, you have no brain. It's not like that. Now all the qualities are mixed up, and the qualities which men were supposed to have, they are like women are having, and qualities women are like were supposed to predominantly have, men are having. And, you know, it's all mixed up now. We are all Sudras and what do
She's
you-
the man.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying.
I'm saying you just giving example.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Rasa Farine. You are very kind.
Thank you for this.
Okay, I think this we can take after, but for now, let's glorify Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam and its attempt to give us the Lord who departed but left Srimad Bhagavatam. And Archa Vigraha, Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Vasumati Manjari Devidasi ki
Jai.
Jai Gurudev Prabhupada ki Jai.